Welcome to Skyblock Economics Explained. In this video, I will tell you what a catch order is and how and when to place it. To better illustrate the flipping strategy I am going to be explaining, I have these screenshots of the prices of all of these items at the same time in the day. You can see the Oakwood has 1.7 million that people are wanting, and the current price is 1,024. Now we can make up a totally absurd situation where all 1.7 million is at 1,024 coins. Nobody's paying less, they are all paying this exact amount. If that is the case, and you put your buy order at 320 coins, the NPC sell value, and someone suddenly sells, we'll say 1.8 million, then you will get a whole bunch of these logs for 320 coins because the entire order volume will have been blown through. And you will now have these logs that are worth 1,000 coins that you bought for only 320. In this particular example, this is not going to happen because 1.7 million is far too much volume. And also Oakwood is something people pay attention to all the time. Sprucewood now, there is a 921k volume. That's also going to be too high. Enchanted Birchwood 410k volume. There is potential for the order volume to die in the next several days, I think. But it is not going to happen in the next few hours, certainly not. Over with Dark Oak, you can't really do this one because the sell price is already lower than what you are looking for, which is NPC value. With Enchanted Acacia Wood, there is 76,000, but the instant sell volume here, as compared to these other ones, well, it's more than this, but it is pretty small instant sell volume relative to these others, and Acacia Wood is entirely worthless. So then you go over to Enchanted Jungle Wood. There's 154,000, which is a decent amount, but given the volume and the volume up on the other side, you can tell that this is pretty low volume for Jungle Wood. Therefore, there is a chance that this volume sells out and an order at 320 might get filled part of the way. It will likely not be filled all the way. That almost never happens. But you can hope that perhaps you will get some at 320 coins, with current value being over 100. When you get those 320 coin orders filled, the price here will drop significantly, but it will be back up within a few hours probably. That is what usually happens. Now, in order to take advantage of this, we must place what I call a catch order, which is what this video is all about. We're back over at Minecraft now and ready to try to place that catch order. You are trying to catch the sudden decrease in price because of the sell volume, or buy volume actually, suddenly dying. Now you might notice these prices are not what I was showing earlier. That is because this is filmed much later than the screenshots were taken. You can also see that there is now 476,000 volume, confirming that the volume we saw earlier was much lower than normal. This volume does not allow for a catch order, but we will pretend that we are still dealing with the volume from earlier. So what we will do here is we will create a buy order for 40,000, and normally this would cost 26 million, but we are not going to place at market value. We could place at NPC value, and then we will only be charged 12,800,000, which we could then sell for that price we just saw earlier for absurd amounts of profit. However, I find that putting your catch order at 320 coins, or whatever NPC value is for the given item, is not the most effective way of doing this, because there may be a bot that will place another order directly above that. So instead, we'll cancel all that. You're ordering 40,000. at 400 coins. We'll say 401 just to be sure. This will cost us 16 million. And now, if the volume that we had earlier dies, which it didn't in this case, my orders were not filled, then we could get some of these filled, and essentially every one of these that we get, every single log that we get, is 200 or more profit. If we want to see just how much that is worth at current market value for instant selling, we can simply put in what we had before and say market value 26 million. Since we are paying 16 million, it's a 10 million profit for almost zero risk. Technically there is risk since we are paying above NPC value, but it is not significant. Now, that example in this is not really relevant now because the volume has changed. However, there is another thing we could look at, which is redstone. You can see there is a demand or a buy volume of 74,000 in 140 orders. If there's 140 orders, you can tell that they're mostly small orders, and 74,000 is not a lot for something like this. So, now the question is, how do we know whether this is likely to go down? Is 74,000 really low enough? And where should we put our buy? We are now over at BazaarTracker.com, which is a commonly used website to help with flipping. I do not use it personally, or I don't use it much personally, but it can be decent. This 24-hour overview of the price I consider worthless. The 1 week history is mostly worthless because it does not help you with updates or anything. This is the total overview. This is an actually useful chart. You can see the potential for how much something can rise by. In this case, it went all the way to 100,000. That is totally unreasonable, but I'd love to sell things at that price. But what we are really here for is the order stuff down here. It says now that the volume is 59,000 or 59.7 thousand. That is lower than what we saw in Minecraft. I don't know why it's different here. You can see the market value for the buy orders, which is what we're looking at, is almost 44,000. If you look at all these orders, you can tell that besides this one and this one, they are all pretty small orders. And yet, if someone fills all of those, the price will have already dropped to 3,000 coins. This is a significant number for such low volume that would be needed to shift it. That means that a lot of this volume is much lower probably than even this price. There could be some at 40,000, some at 35,000, some at 30,000. The market loves those round numbers. However, in this case, I actually know that a lot of that is much lower because I manipulated it myself. We'll get to that in a bit. We return now to Minecraft to look at the redstone again on this window, and we will also see how I manipulated the orders. Here it says that the buy price, in this case the sell orders, is 60,000, so perhaps it is reversed on the website, as we saw different numbers earlier. That irritates me very much. However, the relevant thing you can see here is 75,000 now in 156 orders, and the price has not really changed. So what you see here with my orders is that there was an order for 50,000 of them at 10 coins each. If I cancel that, then I can go back, and it has not updated yet, but we know that it was 50,000. So once it does update, it will go back to simply saying that there is 25,000, and that is much lower volume and allows for someone to place a net order. My order that we just canceled was not a catch order. my order we just canceled was not that catch order. It was a fake order in order to pump up the supply or demand, in this case, to stop other people from seeing the good deals so that I could keep it available for this video. To place an actual order, we will go here, we will buy one instantly, and we will sell it to the NPC and lose a whole bunch of money. Now we know the NPC value though. So we can go back here, and a bot might place an order at 25,600. So we will order 1,000 of these at 26,011, just because. This will cost 26 million, so I can't actually afford it at this moment. But if any of this manages to fill, it is essentially guaranteed profit because redstone is used for things. Therefore, it will almost always be above the NPC value, and I can sell it when the market corrects for the lost volume. I would likely be able to sell it for, I would think, instant sell for 35,000 within the day. I would hold it for longer than that, but if I wanted to instant sell, already 10,000 profit per, and if we're ordering 1,000, well, that's a lot of money. I don't feel like doing math in the middle of the recording. You can make fun of me for that. You have permission. So anyway, that is how you set a catch order, and it has a low chance of actually succeeding, but it is a very low risk item, and if it does happen to fill, the percentage profit, not the absolute profit, is often quite high. In this case, I would say that there's potential for doubling your money if redstone supply crashes shortly afterwards. It can do that sometimes, but it isn't common. So I placed my cash order, and now I'll just go to bed and maybe it'll be full in the morning. If it hasn't filled in the morning, then chances are that it will not fill because somebody else will have placed a higher order. I can reduce the chance of that happening though by replacing my earlier order. Well, let's first see if the volume corrected. It has not corrected. It still says 74,000. But we will place a order for 50,000. Actually, we'll pick a less suspicious number. 56,700, because it looks more normal. It would normally cost 2 billion, but we are only paying 10 coins. This order will never fill. My other order blocks it, and even if my other order didn't block it, somebody else would. So this order is not meant to fill, it is meant solely to inflate the volume, so that other people like me are less likely to spot the opportunity for a catch order. And, well, now you have it. That is how you find an opportunity for a catch order and place it, and also hide it.